I'm Jim Donio, and welcome to String Band Sessions Podcast. Our next series of podcasts is entitled Concept to Creation. I will be talking to representatives from all 14 string bands about how they are planning and developing their ideas for the 2026 Mummers Parade. This is Thor McLaughlin. Thor is president of Uptown String Band. How long have you been with Uptown, and how long have you been president?
So this is my 20th year with Uptown, all consecutive with them, no one else. I think it's going to be my 9th year as president.
Were you with another band before Uptown?
Nope.
Always with
That's it.
Uptown. Okay. And 9th year
As president.
as president. And you also have a role in the Philadelphia Mummers String Band Association board as well. What's that?
Yeah. So I think it's my 3rd year as vice president with the String Band Association. And I think prior to that, I had 2 or 3 years as a director as well.
Cool. So I have to ask Thor. So what's your given name?
So it's Jonathan Thor McLaughlin. Thor's the middle
Okay.
name.
And like we could probably speculate where Thor comes from, but you tell us.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not Norse god or anything fancy like that. Just not as creative. My dad was just big in the comic books, so he wanted to go with the name Thor.
And is it your actual middle name?
Yep.
It's
what I've always
actually your
gone
middle
by.
name. Pretty cool. So Uptown was originally Uptown, and I think that's part of the genesis of the name. But there was also a relationship with Harrogate String Band. So for those who may not know or remember, Harrogate String Band was one of the non-association string bands, won first prize in the string band division back-to-back, the only non-association band to ever win first prize back-to-back. 1976, Moving On USA, Train Theme. 1977, one of my favorites of all time, Trip the Light Fantastic, which was a 20s theme. So how did the relationship come together between Uptown and Harrogate?
So the kicker is some people know about the Harrogate story. Most people don't know about the full story. So actually, we would go back before Harrogate. We've always been in Bucks County, which I'm sure it's something you'll probably ask me about. So our story actually goes back to the Pendle Firefighter String Band, which I think started in like 1948, 1950. They changed the name to the Greater Bucks String Band. So all of our members really kind of came from that history. 1965, they won with a Hawaiian theme, and there was a big falling out. Who knows what the story really was back then? So a large group of the show designers, the board, had a falling out with Frank Weller at the time. They went and started the Liberty Bell String Band. Unfortunately, there's a lot of string bands. They couldn't get into the parade, so they were trying to think of other plans. Just so happened at that time there was the Vietnam War and all the drafts, so a lot of bands actually didn't march in the 1965 parade. So they reached out to one of them, which happened to be Harrogate, and I think it was like Telly Flores, Pop McKnight, a lot of the greats from the Harrogate days.
Yeah.
Reached out, and they actually made a deal with Harold Shriver, and they marched under the Harrogate name. But it was funded, designed, and ran by the Liberty Bell String Band. So 1966, we marched under the Harrogate name. I think going into 67, we actually bought the charter to Harrogate and started our own organization and brought that band up to Bucks County. So that's kind of how we started the Harrogate tradition. We went all the way through 1975 was, when things started to take off, our first top 5 there. 76, 77, we won. We're starting to make a little bit of a name for ourselves. And at that time, there was a lot more money in the String Band Association. There was a lot more opportunities. And that was where everyone wanted to be. So we were trying to find opportunities. There's one point we were negotiating for the Trilby String Band Charter. There was talks about us trying to get into negotiations for the Avalon String Band Charter. Nothing really came to fruition. That is up until 1990 when I think Jamie Caldwell was actually president. Dominic Diodato, who's really involved with the association, he's one of our legends. Him, Jamie Caldwell, Johnny Carroll, Tommy Carroll, had reached out and they worked out a deal with Cliff Johnson from the Uptown String Band. So they, in 1990, they bought the charter to Uptown, finally got our way into the association, had a lot more opportunities to go to the shows and all the other events that we were able to do. That's also when we kind of changed the color, so Uptown's known as the Four-Leaf Clover Band. But Harrogate, known for our blue, we brought the blue over, we changed the logo, we've done a lot of homage, and honestly, to this date, I don't think we really have anyone from the original Uptown String Band. Where almost our whole history comes from Harrogate.
Really?
That's why we do Harrogate shows, Harrogate references all the time. It's really who we are.
That's interesting. Yeah, and a lot of people probably don't know all of that, all of that history. So thanks for that. So where is the band headquartered today?
So where it's always been, which is in Bucks County, we've moved around a couple times within it. Currently, we're right around the corner from Neshaminy High School. That's, if you go online, you'll find us Uptown Hall, but it's the Parkland Fire Company. So it's right off
Okay.
of Route 1.
It was in Humeville, wasn't it, at a certain
Yeah.
point?
So at one point, we were back at William Penn Firehouse.
Yes.
And that's where we always were when we were Harrogate. And that was, we ended up buying a clubhouse right across the street in 1975. Later on, we ended up making a move. We were able to lease a hall. That way we could have a lot more rental opportunities, a lot more financial growth, a lot more room for us to kind of grow the organization. We made that move, I think it was about 2015, going into New Year's 2016.
Cool.
So,
Okay, so we're going to talk now about concept to creation. And so 2026, January 1st, 2026, Uptown's going Hollywood. So interesting. So how was this idea decided upon? Were there lots of other potential themes that were in the hopper? How did this one get chosen for 2026?
yeah, this was actually kind of funny. We were just talking about this recently during a theme meeting. So our drill director, I think he went on vacation the weekend that we submitted themes. Going into that weekend, we had another theme as our top pick. He came back from vacation and was so confused. He's like, what do you mean we're doing Hollywood? That was like our third choice. So we had a number of themes, and obviously we try to produce a whole bunch of themes that we can go through, and we archive them and we kind of review them all. The theme that we had that was our top pick at that time was something that was a little more dark, a little more serious, and we were kind of reflecting on our band and what we've done well the last 2 years. And so we're not sure if we're mature enough or ready enough to take on a more serious style theme. So we kind of took a step back and said, what has been working for us? You know, something bright, iconic, recognizable, something that's relatable that everyone can kind of pick up on and understand. And then we also try to focus on a show being built around a captain with great character, charisma, quirkiness. And when you kind of lay out all those things that pan out and work well, Hollywood was the obvious choice.
Yeah. So Cade Radcliffe, who's the captain, one of the youngest of all the string band captains, has been a multiple prize winner in his first 2 years. So yeah, definitely you kind of checked off the boxes of kind of character, quirky, etc. So Hollywood per se as a theme hasn't been done for about 30 years. Greater Kensington did it. It's not ever won first prize, but there's been a lot of movie themes focused on different kinds of movies, types of movies. Quaker City just won a couple of years ago with monster movie Mayhem. So what's the direction here? What's the approach? Is it more kind of atmospheric, like the atmosphere of Hollywood? Is it about like the making of a movie? Is it character driven? Because when I think of Cade, when I heard this theme, I thought, oh, Cade as John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever, Cade as Rocky, Cade as like characters in Hollywood, characters movies. So what is the direction?
So it's funny that this podcast is concept to creation. So our theme chairman laughed. He's like, I can't wait till you tell him what our plan is. So as opposed to a lot of the Hollywood or flickers and things along those lines where it's, you know, the Sharks and the Jets, or it's your Keystone Cops, or an homage to something that's popular, you know, even Quaker. We've got the Frankensteins, the werewolves. We wanted to go in a little bit of a different direction. So concept to creation, our concept is from script to screen. So a lot of it isn't so much giving you all the characters that you're expecting. It's more or less Cade's story as a director and him going through his experience and his life in Hollywood, starting out from writing his script to producing his movie and all the layers to that. So it's a little bit of a different take, but we'll still try and check off all the iconic things you're
Yeah.
expecting, but it's a little bit unique in its own way.
I mean, yeah, it sounds a little esoteric, actually, to me, in terms of going, as we are, going behind the scenes of how a movie gets made. And yeah, so that's interesting. I would not have thought of that initially because what you've done the past couple of years has been, as you said, so very, very character driven. And it's obviously it's done well. You've done well with that. And so this has an element of that, but it sounds like it's going to be a little more kind of like almost educational
Yeah.
or informational about the elements of a movie. Like you mentioned, the script, I guess the script, the costumes, the score, the music of a film, and that sort of, and that sort of approach. So, how are you? Because there's so many possibilities.
You can go in 100
and
different ways.
And I'm sure you've worked with a team, a collaboration of lots of different people from the music side and performance side. So how are you choosing? There's probably so many different. Everybody's probably throwing out ideas.
Well, I think that's why we end up kind of going in this direction. Because if we were going to do character-based, then it's like, how do we make all this connective tissue? The one thing that we've focused on the last couple of years is the flow of the show. Does it make sense? Is it logical? Is there connective tissue? Are there organic ebbs and flows where we have peaks and valleys in it? So that's often our focal point. I think what we did is we literally said, if you're making a movie, what would you have? What do you think of when you go to Hollywood? And we throw everything at the wall. We literally have a giant dry erase board. We write all these crazy ideas in there. And then, sometimes we have an obvious path and we kind of know where some of the mile markers are. But we had to kind of dwindle it down and really take what we thought were the best ideas and then see where they fit in a timeline. Because honestly, we've had a couple points where I think we changed our banjo solo scene because the one idea was something different and the one made more sense in the flow. We had a different pit band reveal because even though we liked this character, it didn't fit in the flow of the story. So for the most part, we try to just go all out and throw everything at the wall, hone in on what we think the best ideas are, and then try and see what fits in a storyboard. And sometimes it's not always the best ideas as much as it is the ones that make the most sense.
So so it sounds like you're saying Cade's role will be more of sort of the director of the film. So it's his vision coming to life as the different elements of making a movie kind of come together and
From him writing the script
come
to
to
filming the
fruition.
screen.
Okay. So timeline. So in terms of how all these elements come together, costume. So where do we stand, just generally speaking, where do we stand on costume, score, and who writes your music? Who writes the score?
Anthony Trombetta, super talented young guy. He's amazing. So
Writes the
he's
score.
been writing for us since 2020.
So you've got costume, score, production elements. So where are we? How far along are we in the various areas?
We're moving so fast. So at this point, I would say our storyboard, like from what we lay out, is I would say close to 100% laid out. There's a couple nuances that we're finagling. Costume design's already in. We've already been measured. Sammy's been hard at work, I'm sure, laying all those things out. I think the only thing that's pending is Cade's, the captain costume.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. So do you think we might we see some feathers or something different? Something old that's new again, maybe?
We'll see. We'll see what Russ Fama comes up with. But so that's the only sketch that we have pending.
Okay.
Music, I
So
think.
I'll keep my fingers crossed for that.
Reach out to Russ, see if you can influence him a little bit.
And how about with Anthony, with writing the score? So the scores today are very complex. Piecing together, stringing together so many different elements. So particularly with a theme like this and in the way that you've outlined it, like even the transitions from song to song. So how much of the score do you have so far?
We've been playing for, I think, maybe a month or so, maybe a little bit longer than that. We've had about 2.5 minutes.
Oh.
I think he just sent me more music recently. We're probably about like the 3.5 minute mark, and we've kind of got a rough layout of what songs and what we're going to do for the rest of the show. So we're hoping to have the music first full draft done by the end of July.
Sets, props. So who does the design for the sets and props?
So Russ Fama does suit sketches. David Rigler does the set design. So
Okay, so they're kind of working hand in hand because obviously a Hollywood theme is probably even more focused on sets because you're trying to bring to life a film and the sets and the props and things. So this is another instance where I'm sure there's lots of different potential set pieces that you could incorporate. So is there some healthy debate going on in terms of making these choices of let's do this, maybe we can't do that?
I think there's less debate on what we should do as the interpretation of an idea. So like you
Okay.
may have, when we did a Keystone Cop team, they've got an old paddy wagon. What kind of style car do you want? And then how do you want it to approach? What kind of dimension you want it to be? What size is it? How is it functionally? So I feel like we've had more debates on the specific aesthetic that we want and the function that we want from it, and then how can we repurpose it into multiple props, so it's not just a one and done.
So it's just not, it's
I
more
think-
multi-dimensional.
Those are the points where we struggle most, is the little nuances where I think we typically agree on the general concept, but the details is where
Okay.
we're usually debating.
Working title at this point? Any ideas being kicked around for that? Because Hollywood kind of could be.
So we always debate on, do we want something that's funny, that's cute? Do we want something that is an homage to Uptown or Harrogate? Right now, I think the front runner is probably from script to screen, because we want people to understand what we're doing. Because like you said, Hollywood, everyone's probably expecting all these things. We want people to understand what the show is before you see it. That way you'll have the right kind of state of mind going into the performance.
And that would definitely, and in terms of looking at the judging, looking at the criteria, looking at wanting to make something immediately
Yep.
understood, immediately understandable, that probably says it for sure. So that's Thor McLaughlin, who's president of Uptown String Band. Thank you so much for
Great talking.
joining us for our String Band Sessions podcast. So we're here with Captain Pat Walton and Alex Walton, brothers from the Jersey String Band tonight. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining us
for having us.
for the
Absolutely.
String Band Sessions podcast, Concept to Creation. So, how long have you been with Jersey? And I know there's a connection from Broomall to Jersey. So fill everybody in on that.
Well, we're both founding members of Jersey String Band. So we've been with them since the foundation, when the foundation was laid. But before that, we were with Broomall. 2014 was my first New Year's Day parade with Broomall. And 2013, I believe, was your first parade.
I'll talk about me
Yeah, that's fine.
in a minute.
But
2014, you paraded as a musician.
no, I was actually chief marshal at that point.
Oh, chief marshal.
Yes.
Did you play an instrument? Do you
No.
play an instrument?
I'm currently taking lessons to learn how to play banjo.
Good.
So, because eventually there will be a day of step
There'll be
away.
a point. There'll be a
Yes.
point. And Alex,
I started in 2013 with the Broomall String Band as a marshal, and I marshaled with them through 2016, and then 2017 was my first year playing as a musician, banjo, and then from there, that's what I've been doing.
okay. You play other instruments though.
I'm learning the upright bass for this year.
Okay.
In particular.
Okay. Oh,
Parade.
for Jersey for this year. So for people who don't know, explain the transition from Broomall to Jersey. So Broomall, decided to stop parading.
Yeah, the Peter A. Broomall String Band was a family-owned string band. And after the 2019 parade, the family decided that was going to be their final year, and they were going to retire the Peter A. Broomall String Band. Our members weren't done, and I mean, we had opportunities to go elsewhere and do other things and join other bands and, or do our own thing and see if we can actually make it work. 'Cause, I mean, I know I was one of the first people to say no one would ever start a new string band back then.
But why not?
But why not? And we were able to rally around the Broomall family. And
Okay.
in 2018 and take them around the hall one last time. And then we started our new thing the following weekend.
So how many people, how many members do you think from Broomall migrated over into Jersey, Alex?
Say roughly probably 25.
Oh.
A good amount of it.
So a good percentage.
A good core of
A
it,
good
yeah.
percentage.
Yep, and then we had also had an influx of young members join Jersey when we came in there. Just happened to be at the right time.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, that's positive, and that's future looking, which is really important. So Jersey String Band, we've talked about this before, but for those who are watching this and maybe seeing and learning about it for the first time, so Jersey is the first band to be admitted into the Philadelphia Mummers String Band Association in many decades. So that's exciting because now all 14 bands that parade on New Year's Day are now all part of the fraternity, the community, the support system, which is great.
Yes. Yeah, and I mean, it was a lot different. I mean, you got to figure most of our members were former members of the association by being part of the Peter A. Broomall String Band. So it was only natural that eventually down the road that we would eventually go through, but there's growing pains, you know? We had the first year wasn't guaranteed, second year wasn't guaranteed. And, you know, it was a struggle, and, you know, COVID hit and gave us another punch in the stomach, 3 months after our first parade. So there was a lot fighting us to be actually an actual band. And I'm so proud of this band because every year it feels like we get stronger.
Well, and that's obviously that's the goal.
Yes.
That's the objective. The objective is to have the group, work together, get better together, have fun together, and from all accounts, from my observations, I think you're checking all of those, checking all those boxes. So let people know. So we've had many New Jersey string bands. A lot of people think, oh, it's just Philadelphia, but it's not. I mean, we've had probably, I don't know, maybe somewhere between 5 and 10 string bands that were headquartered in New Jersey. So where does Jersey call home?
Our current home is Woodbury Heights. We are based out of the Woodbury Heights Fire Hall.
Okay.
We rent space from them. They are super ecstatic to have us. We've gotten escorts after the parade, after New Year's Day, to back in front of the fire hall, and nothing better than pulling back to the fire hall and seeing there's like nowhere to move. You know, the parking lot's full, the people are just lined up and everything like that. And I get the chief, the assistant chief, the president of the fire hall. Where are you guys at? We can't move. Where are you guys at? You know?
Well, that's a great.
So it's so
that's
cool to feel wanted.
right. That support. That's a great feeling.
Yeah.
What would you say, Alex, is the percentage of the band that actually are New Jersey residents? Do you have some Philly people?
I'm probably the only one that lives in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Everybody except for one other person lives down in Florida. He comes up every year
Yep.
just because he still wants to do it.
We have
The
one in
only other
Delaware.
guy he lives up by the Delaware Water Gap,
Okay.
and
But everybody else pretty much is
But he's in Jersey too,
is
so
New
it's
Jersey.
like yeah. Mhm.
for sure.
I'm sorry. Also,
Janice.
Janice. We just picked up Janice this year. She's in Delaware.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
What's Janice's?
Janice Powers.
Okay.
She plays the banjo.
And she's a musician.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not
we
like
just don't want to say we
it's-
picked up Janice.
No. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I guess
No,
it
no,
goes
no,
down to it.
But like Janice doesn't live in like Wilmington. She's driving up from Smyrna.
Wow.
So it's not like right around the corner.
No, and she's making
And
she's making a commitment,
she loves
which is
And
great.
she loves
Yeah.
every minute of it. So that's always been my goal when people come up and ask me, and that's one thing I always told people, can I join your band? Do you want to have fun? Well, yeah, then you're more than welcome. If you want to be miserable, we don't want you. But if you want to have fun, come on.
The door's open.
Door's open.
Door's
Don't
open.
matter what playing ability you have. Well, Janice never Janice is just picking up the banjo this year and learning banjo and taking lessons.
That's
and,
great.
That's
It's great that
that's
it's
one of
what
the
it is.
reasons why this year I feel more comfortable taking taking the banjo out of my hands and I can start playing the bass.
Yeah.
So I know she's strong.
because the musicianship is
Yeah.
growing.
Yes.
Yeah. So great. So let's talk about our concept to creation. So our concept, our broad concept, is the 1950s. Lots of possibilities there, lots
Yes.
of directions that we can go in. So why the 1950s for 2026? How did the idea come about? Were there others that were kind of in the running?
Oh yeah, there's always 3 or 4 that we have lined up. You never go up. You never go into the to theme submission without 2, at least 2, if not 3. This theme, I started hearing some of our younger members. When I mean younger members, middle school, high school age, talk about this theme last November,
Okay.
last October. And oh, this would be so cool. We can have a dance party. We can do this. We can do that. And that just went from there, and it just bloomed into a broader theme. And it was just something we can have fun with. That's the goal. We want to entertain. We want you to laugh. If you're not laughing, we're not doing our job right. That's the most important thing. I mean, you're probably never going to see Jersey do a dead theme. We want to do something that's happy. We want to do something that's fun. We want
Right.
you to. There's going to be some comedic part of it in there
Okay.
somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's creative because there's a lot to draw from.
Yes.
But also musically, the
Oh.
50s, Alex, the 50s is just like there's just so many,
So,
many ideas and so many musical directions with the 50s.
Right.
When you look at pop culture, all the hits, and so on and so
television
forth.
shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that, big time. And you're going to see that we're going to be grabbing from all of that musically, and a lot of that is going to be within our skits as well. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, inspiration. So we talk about inspirations. There's a lot of possibilities for inspirations for the 50s. So are we drawing from like Bandstand? Are we drawing from Grease? Are we drawing from 50s? 50s movies or TV shows,
50
Happy Days.
Yeah, I mean, I would lean more to Happy Days, Grease, that
Okay.
area there. Trying to be vague as much as possible, but it's
Okay.
It's
Don't be vague. Be specific.
Don't worry, in a few months everybody will see.
You
But
can
you'll definitely know the music.
there's going to be some sort of diner, presence. Too,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, very 50s.
Anytime
Very
you think
50s.
diner, you think of all the stuff that happened back then and at the diners and stuff
And
like
the
that.
food, the food of the 50s.
Yes.
Yes.
So
And-
what
and all-
about so I can see a lot of potential for the choreography
Yes.
of like the dances that were really popular in the 50s.
Yeah.
So was this something you said some of the younger members
Yeah.
were kind of interested in this? Are they like psyched to
Oh,
be
yeah.
Oh.
like recreating this and actually doing some of the dances and the things that were popular in the 50s?
I don't know so much about being psyched about doing the dances as much as the general over concept of the theme of
Okay.
how we're going to pull it off, and just just the stuff that just comes out of the 50s that you would find.
Right.
The entertainment factor is going to be fun. I know our some of our dancers are extremely excited about how they're going to be suited up and dressed. Our band's excited about how they're going to be put
Okay.
into a nice show.
And this is also a concept that has a lot of crowd appeal,
Yes.
regardless of age.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Because of all these television shows and movies that even younger people are familiar with.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I think there's a lot of audience reaction, kind of getting into it because you said happy, upbeat.
Yes.
All those kinds of attributes of a theme like this. So where do we stand at this point in terms of the various elements, costume, the score, how far along are you
I-
in these various areas?
For us, I think we're light years ahead of what we have been
Really?
Yes.
in the 6 years, 7 years that we've been in
Okay.
existence. We have pretty much mostly of our music done. There's some tweaks that need to happen. Our suits are already being cut. The show is planned out. Normally, we're not there at this point, and
No,
and
yes, we're not.
July into July. So
So who's your costume designer and who's your music arranger?
We're using Anthony.
Trombetta. I can't.
Yeah, I always
Anthony
mess
Trombetta.
up. He's doing our music.
Yeah,
Who's doing the
he's-
music? Okay.
We're using Regal costumes for our costumes this year.
Okay. And who designed them?
Daniel Duffy.
Daniel Duffy.
Okay.
He's actually a member of the Jokers.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's a new name for
Yeah.
me that I haven't heard before.
Yep.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
He drew out our suits in
And he's been drawing for us for
a couple years now.
Oh, he
years
has.
now, yeah.
Does he do other groups or just
Mostly,
not other bands, but other?
mostly brigades. I mean,
Mostly
obviously
brigades.
he designs the Joker suits and stuff like
Exactly.
that. But he draws for other people.
Well, that's
as well.
cool.
Right.
That's cool. I learned something, so
Yes.
that's pretty cool
Yeah.
as well. In terms of like your sets and your props, are you in-house?
in-house.
Yes.
You do all that
Yeah.
in-house, so you have, volunteers, families come in and
We're-
help to do that?
We have people lined up to do that. We have a few people that are going to assist us this year with painting. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's part
it
of it.
always is- it
that's-
always is, and
That's
then-
part of the team, like, it's a team,
It's always been an in-house kind of thing.
Yeah.
so-
Yeah.
Well, being in
keeping-
being in a string band is a team sport.
Yes.
It really is, because people really have to pull together.
Yes.
So I am going to press on one, or maybe two, but one specific thing. So do we have a working title at this point that we're thinking of?
No.
We don't
You don't?
No.
don't actually.
Okay.
The title, honestly,
It-
as important as it is,
Uh-huh.
it's one of the things that it's one of the things we put off as
It's
long
very
as
last
possible.
minute. I mean,
That-
at least for us.
Yeah, I mean,
but-
typically we do an anniversary. Our anniversary is November 11th.
Uh-huh.
That's the day we were officially founded and registered as a
As a band. Mm-hmm.
nonprofit and the band in the state of New Jersey. So typically we have a party around that weekend,
But-
either the weekend before, weekend after,
Yeah.
and that's typically when we announce the show title.
Oh,
Again,
the
we
title.
usually have 2 or 3 and then
Okay.
the band will vote on it.
Do we have 2 or 3?
Not
No,
yet.
no, I
Oh,
don't think
we don't even
one.
have 2 or
I
3.
don't think we have a half of one.
Okay.
We've
Well,
got a couple put out there, but
Okay.
it's nothing that's like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay.
well,
you know?
I mean, I see the shirt.
Yes.
I see the shirt.
Yeah, this was
so-
the
the
tease.
tease,
The
yeah.
tease. Okay.
Yeah, Alex put this together, and
So we're teasing a little bit.
Teasing
We're
a little
teasing a
bit.
little bit.
yeah, I mean, pretty much what come on, diner
I mean,
greaser.
if-
how much more 50s can you get?
If you
there?
go
No.
back, if
and
you,
you know that's going to be in the show.
You've got all the elements
you got
for the
basic
show.
if you
info
go
right
back
there.
to our tease last year, it was like a blanked out Austin Powers.
Right.
So and then we had Austin Powers in the show.
Right.
So like, there's some
You have
tall
the
tales,
elements
yeah.
are there. Now it's okay. What's going to grab people with
Yeah, oh,
whatever
yes, yes.
whatever you're
Oh.
deciding to call
There's
the show.
oh man, I wish, but I'm not allowed to say it. But there's a part of the show that's gonna grab people and there might be some memes
Okay.
being made.
Okay. Oh, memes. Okay.
So
So when I come
Don't let the mustard out.
when I come to visit, which I will, when
Oh,
I
you
come
will,
when
don't
I
worry.
come to visit in the fall, I will get a little more detail.
yes,
Yes,
Little
just
sneak
make
peek.
sure you're hungry.
As it's
You'll be all right.
as it's coming together.
Yeah.
Listen, thank you, Pat.
Thank you
And
for
thank
having
you,
us.
Alex, so much
right, Jim.
for joining us
Yep.
for
Absolutely.
Concept to Creation. That is Captain Pat Walton and Alex Walton, brothers from Jersey String Band.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching the String Band Sessions podcast. Let us know what you think in the comments.